For CE 2121 Module 5 Unit 1, we will talk about traversing and traverse computations. So traversing is a process of measuring the lengths and directions of the lines of a traverse for the purpose of course, locating the position of certain stations or points. Also, a traverse is a series of consecutive lines whose ends have been marked in the field and whose lengths and directions have already been determined from the observations of the surveyor. So this is the most basic and widely practiced means of determining relative locations of certain points. So there are two kinds of traverse. The first one is open traverse. It is a traverse that starts at one point and terminates at another point as shown in the figure. So here, your starting point is A, and then your ending point is on another location, which is G. So you can see here, wala tayong nabuong polygon, meaning it is an open traverse. Second type is closed traverse. It is considered or formed through a closed circuit, which is shown in the figure. In this case, both starting and terminating points of the traverse coincide with each other. So as you can see here, the starting point is A, and also the last point is also A. So, traverse station, it is any temporary or permanent point of reference. It is sometimes called angle points because an angle is usually measured at such stations. So, when you say traverse lines, these are lines connecting traverse stations and whose lengths and directions are to be determined. So, there are different methods of traversing. The first one is chain traversing, second one is compass traversing, third is theodolite traversing, and of course, plane table surveying. I believe I've already discussed this during the introduction of our course or subject. In traversing, the methods used in observing angles or directions of traverse lines vary, which include, first is of course, interior angles. Second one is angles to the right. As you can see here, it would be measured from one point to the right. Or outside, in the figure, it is measured or outside your polygon. So, from one point, rotating to the right or clockwise. Deflection angles, as you can see here, it is meron kang makikitang extension of your line, and that extension of the line has a certain angle on the preceding line. So for azimuths, I've already discussed this on our earlier lectures. And what we usually use in the Philippines is south. Pero for computation purposes, we would try to solve using north and using south. So another thing that we need to know is angle misclosure. The angular misclosure for an interior angle in a traverse is the difference between the sum of the observed angles and the geometrically correct total for the polygon. So from the data that you've gathered, you just have to sum all of the angles included or the interior angles in the traverse. You just subtract it with the geometrically correct angles, which is, the formula for that one is n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees. That is, I already discussed this in your module 4, under measurement of angles and direction. So in order to solve for angle of misclosure, this is your formula. Let us now proceed in solving the illustrative problem number 1. So we are given the 5 interior angles of a 5-sided polygon. We are asked, what is the observed sum of the interior angles? What we need to do here is just simply add all of the given angles. So for letter A, I just added all of the given angles. This is already your observed interior angle. For letter B, what is the geometric sum of interior angles? You all know that the formula for this one is n minus 2 multiplied by 180, where n is the number of the sides of your polygon. So here, the n value would be 5 since we are given a 5-sided polygon. So for letter B, the sum of geometric is equal to n minus 2 multiplied by 180. And our n here is 5 since it is a 5-sided polygon multiplied by 180. So the ideal or geometric sum should be 540 degrees. So letter C, what is the angular misclosure? So the formula for the angular misclosure is simply the sum of observed angles minus your geometric sum. So here, 539 degrees, 59 minutes, and 18 seconds minus 540 degrees, we are given negative 0 degrees, 0 minutes, and 42 seconds. Meaning of negative here is that kulang yung observed angles natin at 42 seconds. What we need to do in order to get the corrected interior angles is divide all of this by 5 and see what we will be adding on each of the given angles. Okay, so for letter D, what is the corrected interior angles? So here, we have to identify the correction for each of the angles. So since we have 5 angles given and it's a 5-sided polygon, we just divide the angular misclosure by 5 in order to identify what we will be adding on each. So here, I've already copied. So for correction, negative 0 degrees, 0 minutes, and 42 seconds divided by 5, we got negative 0 degrees, 0 minutes, and 8.4 seconds. So it's indicated here that negative means the interior angles measured are insufficient, meaning to say it is insufficient, we have to add the correction. So what I need to do is, since it's insufficient, the correction, we have to add it on each of the given angles. So I added all of the corrections from the given angles and I arrived with the following answers. Take note, when you sum all of this, it should be equal to 540 degrees, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds.